See, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about with white people. They stay on code. Black people, the only code that we follow is the coon code. I keep saying that to y'all. With my video talking about Dr. Umar Johnson and some people in my comment section talking about what code? What code? Dr. Umar Johnson, and he got a school. He got a school. What he does is better than what you do. That's not the goddamn point, idiots. That's not the goddamn point. Y'all missed the whole entire point. What I was saying. Obviously, you got slow, dumb motherfuckers that just come in my comment section talking about some dumbass shit. You know what I mean? But the whole point of that video and how it correlates to this video is that black people, again, don't have a code. When something traumatic happens to us, right, as a group, as a collective, where we are disrespected, where we are murdered in droves, where we are disenfranchised, where we are mistreated in groups, in droves, and this has been happening for over 500 years, we still seek validation from our white counterparts. We still trying to seek acceptance from our white counterparts, right? You know, and just a prime example of what happened earlier this year with Gucci, right? You know, Gucci and all these goddamn high fashion brands for disrespecting black society. You know, with nooses and blackface. You know what I'm saying? The the scallywag dolls, etc. Right? And black people collectively wanted to boycott for a couple of months, just a couple of months, right? Where with this situation with Lil Nas X, you know, him getting the popularity from his song Old Town Road, and he's skyrocketing into superstar status. You know, white people are mad to the point where they get on code and they say, hey, you know what, this song is not country music. It doesn't represent the history of country music, which is a flat out lie, and I'll show that later in the video. And then they talk about, oh, he's getting endorsements. Okay, well, we're gonna boycott permanently Wrangler because he is culturally appropriating our culture of country music and cowboys. White people started the cowboy culture and country music. And again, those are flat out lies. Flat out lies. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the code I'm talking about, guys. When white people are mad, they collectively stick together and they overtly express their disdain towards black people or black society. And they permanently do things. They don't just do things for 3 to 4 months, short term. They think of things long term and they do things collectively. Right? So this is the same situation here. Lil Nas X did a song with Billy Ray Cyrus, Old Town Road, goes into superstar mega success. Now he's getting endorsement deals. He got a partnership or an endorsement deal with Wrangler. White people don't like that. And now they get on code and they say, hey, we're gonna boycott Wrangler jeans. And you are culturally appropriating, or what we like to say, you're a culture vulture to our culture, which is country music and cowboys. And again, that's a flat out lie. Black people, black society have been the progenitors, have been the innovators, have been the originators of country music, farms, cowboys, all of that stuff. Look at guys like John Ware, the progenitor of cowboys in the U.S. This was a guy that, matter of fact, this is the guy that's actually well known as the first actual cowboy in the country. But before that, you have slave narratives that predate John Ware, who were cowboys on the plantation, okay, in the Deep South. All right, you have slave narratives who are cowboys, and farming properties by farming properties of the slave masters, and that's documented in slave narratives. Documented. Y'all can look that up in all kinds of slave narratives. So again, white people again want to recreate and just have revisionist history about things that didn't exist because they didn't invent or they didn't develop, you know, cowboy, the cowboy concept and farming. That was all done by black people, all done by slaves, our ancestors. They did all that shit. White people didn't want to do no kind of goddamn work. We did all the goddamn work. Remember, we built this country. So, those are, again, you got to do your history and understand that black people, black society are the ones that built this country. The fabric of it. Right? And when it comes to country music, right? And again, white people want to claim country music and claim they the first person to do this and that, and they're gonna point to a guy named Jimmy Rogers as the father of country music. When if you do your history, and hopefully, I want this video to be spread. So y'all people, please send this video out to as many people as possible. And Lil Nas X is very young; he's only 20, so he most likely doesn't know this history. So send this video out to him as well. But when it comes to country music, guys like Jimmy Rogers, right? Who, the dominant white society considers him the forefather of country music, when that's a flat out lie. Jimmy Rogers was heavily influenced by African American artists like Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters, heavily influenced by those guys. Chess Records, the foundation of country music. Chess Records basically invented country music. All these artists on Chess Records, and if you guys don't know about Chess Records, check out the movie that was Beyonce, that Beyonce did a few years ago, like probably like 8 or 10 years ago, called Cadillac Music or Cadillac Records. This is based off Chess Records. Okay, all of these artists came from Chess Records. Muddy Waters, Chuck Berry. You know what I'm saying? King Floyd, Lacey Gibson, The Miracles. All of these artists, African American artists, in Chess Records, and this was a white-owned label. The white folks that own the label, they understand that the foundation of music and artistry comes from black people. Point blank and simple. And so these particular artists, again, these were the influencers to people like Jimmy Rogers, and all these so-called forefathers of country music. These, you know what I'm saying, these artists at Chess Records, Motown Records, etc., were the foundation of country music, country blues, rhythm and blues. But back then, in during the Jim Crow era, you didn't have, of course, Billboard and stuff like that. You didn't have a charting system like you have now. The charting system for rhythm and blues, it wasn't even done until 1999. Before the term rhythm and blues was coined by Jerry Wexler, these artists were known as race records. This particular genre of music by African American artists back then were known as race records. Race records. That's what they were known as, or AKA nigger records. Basically, music that was created by black people, by black society. So miss me with that stuff about culture appropriating when it's reverse. Again, white people want to reinvent history. They want to, perform revisionist history about things that didn't exist, because again, these artists were the ones that influenced your favorite artists like Elvis Presley, who stole everything, like a Jimmy Rogers, who was influenced by African American musicians, etc. These are just facts. Cowboys back in the day that were on slave plantations, And guys like John Ware, who one of the pioneers, most well-known black cowboys. But again, we had cowboys that predate John Ware, enslaved narratives. All this stuff again is in history books that black people want to just rewrite their own history and say, "Oh, this is our culture," when it's not. This was invented, built, and designed by black people, point blank and simple. Point blank and simple. So I'm not gonna go, too in depth with, about the history of this stuff. Just look this stuff up. Chess records, Motown. Look up slave narratives of black cowboys. You'll find all that stuff about how black society built this country when it comes to cowboys, country music, blues, rock and roll, right? All these music genres that are popular today. Of course, hip hop. You know what I mean? All that stuff built, designed by black society, point blank and simple. You know what I mean? So for white people to get mad and get on code about culture appropriating because Lil Nas X is popular and y'all decide whether or not his song with Billy Ray Cyrus is country music or not. Y'all say it's not country music, and y'all say, well, he can't wear Wrangler. We're mad. Again, the only thing I applaud white people about is they stay on code. Black people don't. So I would suggest that, Lil Nas X, if white people are that mad about your country music song and the fact that you have an endorsement deal with Wrangler, get your own shit. Be independent. Be an independent artist. I'm not sure if he's actually a signed artist or not, but be an independent artist. Start your own clothing line. And that's simple. That's what I suggest. Start your own clothing line. You know what I'm saying? Just that simple. And don't let the Billboard charting system define who you are. White people can define black culture. They can't. They try to define it with naming a genre of music called rhythm and blues and matching it up with hip hop on the charting system when they're not the same. R&B music and hip hop or rap is not the same, but it sounds the same now because it's charted together, but it's not the same. They should be two separate categories, right? But yeah, man, those are my thoughts about that, man. Again, white people stay on code. Black society doesn't, only when it comes to the form of cooning, trying to get validated by white people for $1. That is it. So those are my quick thoughts about that, family. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, make sure you follow me on the gram at GMOGMediaTV. Until next time, Chauncey signing out. Peace.